Here we go. Call this December meeting of the Board of Education to order. Welcome all of our guests. Thank you for being here. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I move we approve the agenda.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right, I'm not sure what I said. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Do we have anybody for open forum?
I do not.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve the regular open session minutes from last month?
I'll make a motion to approve the open session minutes from last month.
I'll second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Senior trip.
Hello everyone, we're here on behalf of the senior classes, senior trip planning committee, and just to introduce ourselves, my name is Andrew Ely.
Emma Monette, Kiana Hostetler, Hannah Hackman, Lauren Jaquin.
Over the course of our junior year, we thought a lot about wanting to do this overnight senior trip, so we brought it to our class sponsor, Ms. Hoslog, and in our meeting with her, she told us the expectations that we needed to set for our class and the meetings that we needed to have and to follow those chain of commands. And then we went to Ms. Sassman as well, and she told us basically those same expectations and gave us the guidelines that we needed to follow to have a meeting in the summer with some of the admin. And when that meeting came up, we had a proposal made and we brought that to them, and they basically told us at this time that they could not approve it, but that we needed to show them that we deserved to have that trip. And they set expectations like attendance, school spirit, and discipline. And in those things, I feel like as a class we have excelled. And yeah, they told us that themselves, and when we had our follow-up meeting. As far as planning this trip goes, we have sent out a Google form to our class, and they voted on going to Branson for that trip. And as of this time, we have about $6,500 budgeted towards that trip, with a $100 deposit that each student would pay to be able to go on that trip. The reason that we want to go on this trip is to just get that one last bonding experience with our class, and doing those one-day trips just takes away a lot of time in travel and everything, especially if we're going to Branson. It takes away a lot of time in travel going there and back, and we won't be able to get as many activities done when we do that. Do you guys have any questions for us regarding this?
Somebody should grill them, but I don't have any.
What are the specific dates?
As of now, we don't have a date
Oh,
planned
okay.
because we have to schedule around sports and everything.
Do you already have activities planned?
Not yet. We were waiting on sort of how this meeting goes, and then we will plan events following.
I'm a big fan of the model, setting a high expectation and goal and then letting people achieve it. And so I applaud the effort, and I will be so happy for you guys to go on a trip. This is perfect. This is what I want to see from my best kids.
Thank you.
And they really have stepped up and done a great job. Our school spirit has really pumped up because of this group. So they've done a good job.
When was the last time we did an overnight?
Maybe 3 years ago?
3 years ago, yeah.
3, okay.
Are there any kids that we're concerned may not financially be able to afford it? Are we doing anything to try to help get them support?
We do have, they can go and they can talk to our class sponsors. We'll figure out how to make them go. We want everybody to be there so that we can all be there as a class, so we can do whatever we can to make sure that they can go.
Okay, anybody, anything else? All right, can I get a motion to approve the overnight senior trip?
I move we approve the overnight senior trip.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right, further discussion? All right, all in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same? Well done, congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Can I get a motion to approve the transfer and payment of bills?
I move we approve the transfer and payment of bills.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any questions?
The music one, is that just all insurance, or was that an actual cost towards workman comp claims?
That's our actual insurance.
Just the, that's all I had.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve the transfer and payment of bills?
Already.
Do that?
Oh,
I think we got it.
We got it? No. All right, all in favor, raise your right hand. Okay,
I can do it again.
Superintendent report.
In the spirit of our December meeting goals, I'll try and be brief. Shout out to Joe Nooner and Rudolph. I don't know if you guys are aware, but he brought staff all coffee today. They were able to order that, and he and his staff delivered it. Really appreciated that. Have a lot of holiday events, including the luncheon at Amanda and I's house, and then tomorrow we'll have a lunch after school that's out. So you're welcome to come to that if you'd like. Continuing to focus our efforts on those key elements, of which probably the largest impact to our culture here in the future will be the who gets elected to our school board here in a few months. So we do have 2 applicants that have already declared. That's Mr. Andy Warren and Mr. Larry Hunt, with a third intending to declare candidacy, which is our sitting member, Ms. Jamie Bish. Personnel and staffing, we do have an English language arts applicant that we're moving forward with. The other big item in there is our insurance provider, OSBA, continues to negotiate with vendors. That's a hot topic for me because I think we're going to land at a 1 to 3% increase that'll impact our budget. Continuing on bond projects, had a successful page turn in which you participated, Dr. Strong, on 12/17. We also have a playground walkthrough on 1/16 with some of our PTO reps also and our owner rep. That's really exciting. And we're moving forward with the conditioned air project for the field house, which will be started in the summertime. We'll just do duct work, the things that impact our instructional space, and then we'll do the exterior work through the fall and winter. And then it should be done well before our 2026 commencement. I know our kids in our community will enjoy that a great deal. Fine arts, a lot of holiday concerts if you get a chance to swing by those. Of course, we have our Holiday Classic sponsored by Legends Bank, the 63rd annual. Of particular note, both teams are playing tough. Our girls did lose a tough one to Fatima earlier in the year in softball, but won in volleyball, and then had another big win in basketball with this tournament over Fatima. They're always a tough team. Just really glad to see us having some success there. Budget and finance, we'll talk about audit here in a minute in open session. We're already planning for budgeting next year, just trying to figure out what our state revenues, our taxes, we're gonna have those hit a new AB and a new assessment year here in January. One of the things that I had made a note of, just based on early indications, we have made some very large jumps in our teacher base salary. Looking forward to state revenue next year and what we have on the books, moving directly to $40,000 will be impossible without us considering modifying our revenue sources. And I gave you guys some of the figures in your packet.
All right, very good. For discussion, January board meeting.
January 16th, it's a little bit earlier this year. That'll be a little bit too early for us to have payroll completed. It fits though with our candidate declaration, so we'll have plenty of time to do that. So I'd rather keep it in place. Of particular note, only because, like you guys are doing tonight, I'll need the officers to come in and sign checks. If you're agreeable to that, we can keep it as scheduled.
I am not available that night.
Where's it, 16?
January 16th.
I have one of my 2 Board of Regents meetings that next day. Everybody else good?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we'll be okay.
Okay. Co-op with St. George Track and Field.
So as presented, St. George has approached us to co-op with middle school track and field. Mr. Minix has worked out all those details. we don't need to move on that now, but he'll have it ready for that January board meeting. As I stated in my summary, I'd like for us to do that. They have probably 10, 12 kids that want to participate. I think that's a great thing. I look at all St. George kids as most likely future Wildcats, so getting them over here as soon as we can to participate, I think is a wonderful thing.
Agreed. Anybody have any comments on that?
I guess my question is, so it's usually seems like there's a lot of good parental involvement with the St. George sports. Will we, hopefully some of those parents will still be willing to help out with middle school track, or is that?
I don't know if that's the plan for them, but we already have a volunteer coach process. We'll use that same thing. We'll bring on.
Sure.
If there's 20 of them, we just smile 20 times and get them on
Okay.
board.
I think it'll be good.
My only question, because I feel like this has been brought up a lot here lately, is insurance. Is there any concern for having St. George kids here on our facilities? Because, like I said, I just know it seemed like volleyball, there was issues. I know for St. George, there was
We talked
issues for
about it somewhere.
homeschool kids playing on sports with us, and it was all related with insurance. I don't have enough details about it, but is that any concern for us?
For us, homeschool is a matter of MSHA. MSHA is not
But even
approved
pulling
homeschools.
St. George kids over here?
So Chris has outlined with St. George a junior high catastrophic insurance fee, which is $4.65 per junior high student athlete. But it's about a little less than $5 for them to be covered.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
Not a lot of them.
All right. Anything else on that one? All right. Looking forward to approving that. Facilities.
This was requested by Mr. Peterson,
Yes.
so I
Brett,
have
you're up.
background information.
All right, just basically, on this, let me see what I have here. I just had two questions, from basically the community. I've been hit up, quite a bit about this. I feel, just kind of something we can clarify, maybe discuss. I know I wasn't involved with anything prior to my getting on the board, but, there may have been some confusion with the public, and I was asked, why we're not building a middle school? Just, I know it's late, but I wanted to ask this a long time ago, but, just quick kind of, what was the reasoning?
We had, I can try to answer some of it. We had some community input sessions that were actually held in this room with a lot of community members, and there were community members, there were faculty members, there were school board members, there were students and business members in the community, and it was sort of the general consensus that the most cost-effective and best way to do things would be to shift over the high school into the new space and then allow the middle school to use some of that existing space. And it was just part of that group project. We decided that that would be the most cost-effective way to.
Okay, so it was more money than.
There were different layouts, we had different layouts that we looked at, and
That was part of it too.
there were also some concerns with if you were to put the middle school where we were proposing the high school or whatever the new building, of the flow of students, because you would have elementary, high school, middle school, rather than like a progressive flow, because if you have the middle school in the middle, they're likely to share maybe some space with the elementary or high school, but otherwise you're walking all the way to the other side of campus for potential classes that might be shared between the two schools.
We talked about if we put, like, one of the discussion items was if we put the addition over here on the elementary, wing, like, built a wing off the elementary.
Right.
And we talked about that too, and it was going to be kind of expensive to retrofit, and then the middle school would be going through the elementary.
Right.
And so I remember we had several conversations about, obviously, middle schoolers are gonna be using high school spaces like the band room or the choir room or the library. They do currently, but if we didn't wanna make it so that there was always, we still wanted to make it so that the middle school and the high school, if at all possible, would kind of be in their own spaces. And so this was the best way to do it.
Okay, it's
With
just
money.
something I was hit up with by
Yeah.
the community, and I didn't really have an answer. All right, and then another thing, I want, just kind of, the next thing on that, I know mixing was a concern, let's see, students in high school, it's confusing. How about, basically, we had some discussion about the barriers and dividers before. I think you had mentioned something too about that you were gonna divide the high school into 2 sections. And I didn't really understand.
I think you're talking about like are you talking about?
I'm talking about the existing high school, and you were talking about moving the middle school into the existing high school, correct?
Correct.
Okay, then we were talking about, there was talk about trying to separate the building somehow with,
Should just be a wall halfway down the high school, separating what the middle school will primarily use from the shared spaces like library, band, choir, and counselor. So there would be a storefront, kind of looks like what's on that door, in the middle of the hallway, so that there would actually be a door or a barrier. And that was a concern of that steering committee also. So that was the solution that we provided.
okay.
Just to provide a little bit of a physical
Barrier.
separation between the two.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Action items. Approve the audit.
Like it said in the summary, there were only a few items that were really reportable, and one of those was really a discrepancy between how we reconciled in our finance software as compared to what was reported on the ASBR. Those numbers matched, so there was not more or less money. It's just how they're coded from which fund, so they noted that. And then they noted the discrepancy regarding bank balances, which really has nothing to do with us. That's the
Timing issue.
Yeah, it was just a timing issue with our bank, not us. We don't control those things. Other than that, it was small things like, hey, why would you code this here? And so we go, well, we thought that's where to code it. And they go, well, really, that fits over here better. And so we just move it, very, very minimal. They were finished with that audit. I think I've reported on this before. Could have been finished by 12:45 that same day if they would have stayed through lunch, but they had already kind of blocked out their day. We have saved, compared to previous years to that, we have literally saved tens of thousands of dollars
That's great.
in audit fees, just with the changes that we've made the last few years. Mrs. Miller being a key component to that, also Ms. Kaywood, also our activities department doing an excellent job with cash management flow.
Good deal.
That's good.
So you would call this a clean audit?
It was a very clean audit, yeah. It doesn't get much better than this.
Any questions?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's always exciting to read. I assume you all read them front to back.
Mm.
Good. All
It was a
right.
page turner.
Uh-huh.
I laughed, I cried.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve the audit?
I move that we approve the audit.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Further questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. All right. Final reading of transportation policy.
This is policy 5670. Part of our process requires me to read it, so I'll read it as it will be approved. Support services policy 5670, transportation use of school buses. School buses will be used only for the transportation of students to and from school or district educational purposes. Superintendent or designee will create a procedure to accommodate alternate transportation requests under the following conditions. No additional cost to the district, cannot create an undue burden to operations, ensures the safety of all students and staff. District buses used to transport children to Head Start programs will display signs indicating that the bus is a Head Start bus. End policy. It's identical to what the last two readings have been.
Okay. So you need me to vote on it tonight?
We do.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the policy 5670?
I move we approve policy 5670.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Any last questions? Okay, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. All right, third read and finally passed.
Good.
BCBA contract.
Yes, this is a behavioral assessment contract. Ms. Glenn is doing supervision in New Haven this evening. based on some of the issues that we've had, there is a student need for us to have a behavioral assessment provider. We did need to expedite this per my brief, my summary report. It is by far the best price I can get any superintendent to say that at $100 an hour, it is literally a steal of a deal. I hope we approve it sooner than later before they figured out they left a zero off.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the BCBA contract?
I'll make a motion to approve the BCDA contract.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Further discussion? All right, hearing none. Those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. All right, the next regular meeting will be January 16th of 2025. Could I get a motion to go to closed session?
I move we adjourn to closed session pursuant of RSMO 610.021 ASD subsection 13 relative to personally identifiable employment information.
All right, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Roll call vote. Brad?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Brett?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. We're adjourned.